Hey, how you doing? CTS-155/201 class. How you doing? My name is Trevor Dale, and I am the online instructor facilitator for this class. So, this is my first, we'll call it a lecture, kind of. So, I want to kind of jump into things. I'm a technical fundamentalist, to be sure. So I like to kind of go through the fundamentals. We're through our first week here, kind of getting into week 2. Some assignments are getting under our belt. Introductions are getting underway. I have to drink water while I'm talking. I have a couple classes and I've been doing these online presentations, so my throat's a little dry. So, I do talk kind of quick, but the glory of recorded things is that you can record and replay at your heart's content. Hopefully you can hear me all right. I need to keep these short because we need to have these transcribed. I need to have them be presentable if need be, and if I go on for 30 minutes, it takes me hours to actually edit the information. So, I will be doing a couple of Google Hangouts. I'll try to do 2 a week, but I'm really going to have it based on your needs. If I don't get any interaction or any involvement on the Google Hangouts or any emails requesting my expertise, then I won't do them. I'll just kind of let you guys work through the book yourselves, all that kind of stuff. But I do want to continue to do these lectures. At this time, they're going to be non-graded for participation, but as we go through this, I may add a lecture with some Q&A requirements at the end that you will need to answer, and I'll provide a couple percentages for a grade for participation. So, here is your book. Hopefully you can read that. It's not like double backwards or anything like that. So, we got chapter 1, chapter 2. As you can see through here, I don't know if you can actually see how much I've edited this thing. I got pretty much every other chapter highlighted for its importance, so we're going to go through there. But, yeah, see, everything's kind of highlighted. Read the whole thing over the summer, I tell you. You want to go to sleep quick, read this book. All right, so we got the first couple chapters that you need to go through, but like I said, I am a fundamentalist. Every one of these chapters is important. Every one of these chapters has critical information about your knowledge and experience, but I want to talk about some of the fundamentals that are scattered throughout this book and not, in my opinion, in a concise way. So, I'm going to start at the very beginning. Some of you probably, from reading some of your posts, you have experience in technology, which is fantastic, which is great. So, in the beginning, there was a 1 and a 0. And together, they made everything that is digital today. That simple. Every piece of traffic that is across the World Wide Web, across the internet, which are 2 different things, if you need to look that up, is in a bunch of 1s and 0s. That's it. 1s and 0s, the code, binary. Binary code is what is on the backbone of every piece of communication that goes out, from emails, text messages, complex coding programs, cyber-based security platforms to the Pentagon. Everything is based on binary code, 1s and 0s. Level of encryption and complexity kind of hides that information, but that's where everything stems from. So the 1s and 0s, it comes in groups of 8. 8 is the magic number in technology. Everything comes in octets, or groups of 8. You get a 1s and 0s in a groups of 8, you get a data element. Group all those together, you actually get a message. And you group the messages together and send them out in a particular way, and you get a protocol that it has to follow, which is a set of rules, like TCP/IP, Transmission Control Protocol / Internet Protocol. It is the main primary protocol of Internet and World Wide Web's transmissions. If you look up TCP/IP, you'll see it is actually an umbrella of a whole bunch of other different elements, or different protocols like UDP and things like that. So, feel free to look that kind of stuff up, but it is in your book. One thing, I can't remember what chapter it is, but it is in your book. It is the OSI model. I mentioned it in the introductory video. You definitely want to keep that in mind. Remember, to link it to your brain, remember all people seem to need data processing. That takes you through all 7 layers right there. Physical connection first. Great troubleshooting motto to have. Even in our complex environment where you have virtual folks and connections for around the globe, and VPNs and Citrix servers and all that kind of stuff, physical connection first. So the physical layer of the OSI model is the actual physical connection. Now, not everything is physically connected. We don't have lines that go from Singapore to Budapest to New York to LA. We have wireless transmissions, but the theoretical model is the physical connection, the method of which traffic is passed. Now, one of the main sources in the TCP/IP model and OSI is it's the method of which data is communicated. They don't all go on a single train track and weave through the internet and find their point. I think it's OSPF, Open Shortest Path First, which is a protocol. And so when you have, we'll say an email, I am in New York, I want to send an email to my friend in Singapore. When I hit send, it broadcasts out. And through a series of routers and the topology that is the World Wide Web, it sends that message out through the least congested path possible in a series of packets. And the packets are broken up and scattered, and then they come back into a unified message to present themselves to the end user on the other side. It's crazy how that happens. That is what the World Wide Web actually does. So you want to just kind of always keep that in your mind when people are talking about communication. So OSI model, very important, physical connection first, great first troubleshooting step. So one of the examples we'll be providing on how to start thinking in a troubleshooting mindset if you were going to get a tier 1 troubleshooting job at an organization of any type. It's not a glamorous gig, to be sure. I've done it for several years. And number one issue, password resets. People cannot log in. And the end user will say, I can't get in. And that's all they'll say. They'll submit a ticket that says, I can't get in. It is your job to troubleshoot why. So, ask yourself the question, what are some of the reasons that an end user would not be able to log in to their account or connect to their session? And the session being a website, virtual, anything like that. Not that I can actually hear you, but I'm pausing for effect. So there are a multitude of reasons. Most simplest is their password expired, or they entered it an incorrect number of times and they are now locked out of the system, or they simply forgot their password. Other reasons is they have no connectivity, so that physical connection element to it. Are they connected to the internet? Are they connected to the LAN, local area network, which is the network that's inside an organization, inside of a single firewall or router? A WAN, a wide area network, is a connected set of LANs. It can be inside a network or not. But depending on where this person is, may describe to you why they are not able to log into their session. Most of them, pretty simple. Password expired, typing in the wrong password, something like that. And you go in and reset their password for them or provide them a key to reset it themselves. But if they're calling you for this entity, you may have to look at the fact that they may actually not be connected to the internet or connected to anything that allows them to be authenticated on the network. And so with that, you need to start troubleshooting why they aren't connected. And so the physical connection first. One thing you always like to have in the back pocket is being able to ping. And with Windows 10, which is one of the other classes, it's pretty hard to actually just randomly type in a command prompt and actually ping something. It used to be under the start menu and you go right away, but now you actually have to add the command prompt or go to the search, type in command, and actually have that, what looks like a DOS prompt actually popped up, and you actually ping an IP address that you can connect to. A lot of these new solutions these days have this stuff embedded in their solutions. A lot of them have these ticket management solutions that someone provides a ticket, this person says I can't do whatever, and then the ticket actually generates a remote session that automatically connects to this person's session so you can help troubleshoot whatever's going on in their world. But if they can't connect, you have to go back to what your rudimentary functions. Can they ping? Ping is the most basic set. It literally sends a ping packet out and back. And if it doesn't make it one or both ways, the system lets you know. It has a time to live failure. It'll let you know how stable the connection is and if there is a connection at all or not. And you do a couple things with ping. You can ping a name like ping www.google.com, and you'll be able to ping it. But if it doesn't resolve, you have to go to your next step, what actually is pinging the IP address. Because sometimes when you ping a name, the DNS, domain name service, isn't resolving for some reason. So every time you see, google.com or Yahoo or CNN or whatever, those names are actually an IP address. An IP address is an address to any device connected to the internet or the World Wide Web. And so an IP address is an untranslated address, like a home address. So you always want to kind of keep that in the back of your mind as far as connectivity goes. That the IP address, now there's IP version 4, which is 4 octets, or there's IP version 6, which is 6 octets. Now, IP version 6 is coming down the pipe pretty fast. Most solutions now, like Windows 10 and Server 2008 R2 and above, they all have IP version 6 or IPv6 compatibility. So you'll always be able to find that. And so people are really, it's a lot harder to remember a 6-section IP address. And so we move into other forms and fashions of automated discovery for connectivity. And all those are involved in applications that you'll be using at your future job and your future career to help do some of that rudimentary stuff. But as I said, I'm a fundamentalist, and it's important to know the fundamentals behind how things connect, why they connect, and how you can test those connections without the assistance of any applications. You can't be dependent on the tool, because sometimes that tool will not be there for you, and you got to know how to do it yourself. So that's it, 11 minutes. That's plenty for the first one. Honestly, let me know how I did. I know I ramble on pretty quick, but start going through this book one chapter at a time. This is a basic class. There are chapters in here that are not part of the assignment that will be listed out for you to go and take a look at. If you feel so inclined to read the whole thing, read the whole thing. But just make sure that too much information means a lot of the information leaves your short-term memory, doesn't make it into your long-term memory, and then it doesn't do any good for you out in the field or for the exams to get you through this course. So that's it. Any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. You guys have my email address, t_dale@theblueridge.edu. I will be doing a couple Google Hangouts. Feel free to hit me up via email, or you can call me if you need to. If you only call me if you have like an emergency need or something like that. I communicate best through email. But starting next week, 2 days a week, I'll start a Google Hangout. I'll post the times that the Hangouts will be available. Let me know. I do work from home, and I do have a work day from home. But if it is best served that I have a Google Hangout in the middle of the day to accompany you guys and gals, let me know. More happy to accommodate. I want you guys to have all the answers that you need to get successfully through this course. Anyway, that's it. Thank you. Bye.